Hi, this is Paul Turgison, Oregon Farm and Home Brokers, Keller Williams Mid-Willamette. Today I'd like to introduce you to a farm, ranch, and timber property located at 42051 Clark Smith Drive in Lebanon, Oregon. So this is a very diverse environment. We're sitting on the base of the Cascade Mountains on Beaver Creek. We've got water rights off of Beaver Creek, about 15 acres worth of water rights. Water's pumped out of Beaver Creek in the wintertime up into the ponds, and then you use the ponds for the irrigation of the hay fields. For the past 50 years, this has been a timber and ranch property. And there's enough great forage ground out here that's hayed every year. So there's always been cows run on this property, and then it's also been used as a rotational timber property. So they've always been taking a little bit of timber off every couple of years. It's just part of the whole program. So you've got rocked roads, bridges through the entire property. It's easy to get to every corner of the property. And you also have 15 acres of water rights. So the water comes out of Beaver Creek, gets pumped up into some ponds, and then you use the ponds to irrigate the pastures. So it is a really diverse property. The timber stands, there's some great Doug fir stands and some white fir. But there's also a lot of hardwoods and a lot of deciduous trees throughout. So it's a really diverse environment. When you come out here, it's a lot different than just going through a Doug fir stand where you don't really hear all the birds and kind of the variety of animals. It's a kind of a cacophony of sounds when you walk through the property. This is the last property on this drainage. And you could travel from here through all the other timber-owned properties and all the BLM and all the other Forest Service properties, all the way to Detroit Lake and not see another soul. You're on the edge of the world. So when you're on the edge of the world, the edge of civilization, it really does bring in some good hunting opportunities. So when there's really nothing between you and the Cascade Mountains, this is kind of where the deer and the elk will funnel in and the turkey will funnel in. So if that's your jam, there's a lot of opportunity. The eastern edge of the property where Beaver Creek enters, and you can see that there's a lot of good developed roads, and we also have some flat car bridges that cross the creek in several spots. So you can access the property from the north or the south and get all the way to the east end of the property with relative ease. Most of the roads are gravel, but this particular creek right here, it's year-round, and this is the creek that you use to fill your irrigation ponds so that you can irrigate your pastures. Once you go down about a quarter of a mile of paved driveway, you end up at the house, barn, and shop complex. So the house behind us is a 4-bedroom, 1-bath, and it's situated at the beginning of the property, the west side of the property. And next to it we have a 30 by 60 shop with concrete floors and power, 220. We've got a couple other barns and outbuildings, a 24 by 60 barn. Also, we have a feeder barn with some shed roofs to store all the hay. And in the wintertime, you can get your cattle inside. taking a tour with us. This is Paul Turgeson, Oregon Farm and Home Brokers. If you're interested in this property or farm, ranch, or timber properties in Oregon, give us a call or look us up at OregonFarmandHomebrokers.com.